Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video you have my August TBR. For once I do not have a readathon. Planning my reads. This will be a fairly short video. Do I plan to still read a lot? Yes, but it will be less because I will be back to work the entire month. So we shall see how things will sort out with this new school year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my quote-unquote required reads that will help me get through all of my different goals. And then I'm going to go through a handful of books that I assigned prompts to for the Tarot Readathon, but I did not pull those cards. And I have audiobooks of them, so I'm going to try to get to those. These are ones that I was definitely interested in. So first off is my Buzzwordathon book. The prompt for August is to have the word like in the title. And so I have book 2 of the Snow Like Ashes series for that one. I want to go ahead and read both books this month for that series. It'll help with another goal, which is crossing off series that I started prior to book 2. On that note, I have decided to go ahead and unhaul a couple of those series that I had on that shelf, but I'll go more into that into my classroom library section. So that's Buzzwordathon. Next is 24 and 24. I am probably going to be through all 24 of those books fairly quickly. I read several of them in June, several of them in July, and now I have 3 on my list for August. I might not get to all of them, but I'm really intrigued to get to these. So the ones that I have are A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher, The Girl with 7 Names, Escape from North Korea, and The Pain Gap. So these 2 will also help with my nonfiction goal of reading at least 2 per month. Then we have my goal of crossing series off my list that I started prior to BookTube. I did not get to the last book in the Fablehaven series, so I want to try to get to that this month. And then we have The Raven Boys. Now, this is a reread. I haven't read The Raven Boys in so long. This also helps with my Our Fantasy Bingo goal. I'm doing really well with that. I might do a goals update sort of video, but this is a series that I started prior to BookTube and it's a longer series. So I want to start this one and hopefully work my way through the series to cross that off the list. Next, we have my Rick Riordan Presents imprint goal. I have only 2 books left of that, I believe. At least they have been published. I think I have a few arcs as well, but I'm not necessarily going to count those. I'm almost caught up. So the book that I'm going to read for that one is The Sun and the Star. Technically, it's not an imprint book, but it is a Rick Riordan book. It's in this world. It is Nico's book, co-written by Rick Riordan and Marco Chiru. I'm really excited to get to that. Then we have my new goal of working through books to potentially put in my classroom library. I did a random number generator for the stacks that I have over there in the other closet, and then ended up picking Bloomability by Sharon Crete. She's an author that I've read before. I think this will be a good read. Then we have not necessarily a fixed goal, but I realized when sorting through my TBR closet that I have a lot of Fairy Loot young adult books, and this one is from 2022. So I need to get on that. I want to try to read more of those books. I had that project last year. I've been reading more of them, but not keeping up with Fairy Loot. So we shall see on this one. Additionally, I want to catch up with series. I want to get through some of my older books on my TBR. So about 10 other books that I have here fulfill one or more of those prompts. If I read more than what I have here, I'm going to use arcs that I have on NetGalley. I'm close to catching up, but I've been close for a while. I have 12 books before I would come chronologically up to date. So let's go through the 10 that I have here. First, we have This Cursed Light, which I believe this is just a duology. I've read the first in this series. It was a BookBox book that I enjoyed, and so this finished a series. Then we have This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. This would help finish a series that I started last year. Next we have After the Forest by Kel Woods. This is an Illumicrate book, so it helped with reading my books. We also have Sense and Second Degree Murder. This would help me finish a series that I read completely out of order. Book 3, then book 1, now book 2. I have 2 other BookBox books. I have Forged by Blood. I do not remember which books. This is a LitJoy special edition book. And I also have A Fragile Enchantment by Allison Saft. Interestingly enough, she has another book coming out this year that's going to be in a book box. I don't know if they're both Fairy Loot because that would be very weird. The other one might be Illumicrate because this one is Fairy Loot. Also, I'm continuing to try to get through my backlog of Book of the Month books. I have 2 for that one. I have The Bullet Swallower and The Bookbinder. And then lastly, I have 2 books that I purchased a year and a half ago in the Owl Crate Black Friday sale, and I need to get to those. I'm interested, I just haven't gotten to them. We have CC Rios and The Desert of Souls, as well as The Barren Grounds. So I'm really excited about all of these books. I think most of these have audiobooks, which will be really helpful for me, especially going into a time when I'm not going to have as much time to physically read. This is definitely going to be a very short video because total filming time has been about 10 minutes and I know that's going to be way cut down. So we shall see how long this ends up being. If it ends up being 5 or 6 minutes, totally fine. I'm excited about getting to even more books, but I don't want to put any pressure on myself to read a lot of books. So I think I've chosen a fairly even spread of number of books as well as challenging myself and still fulfilling goals. I've got a lot of goals. We shall see how well I do with all of those goals. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.